Welcome. In this part we will be building our database. This part is very easy. Just go to your XAMPP application and click admin, and here in MySQL click admin. The database will be opened. Click new, here new, and let's call our database maybe CRUD. Create this database name. Okay, this is the table. We will call the table task. Okay, tasks, and this will be only 2 fields. Click OK. This will be the ID and the name. The ID will be integer, the type integer, will be auto incremented, and the name, make it varchar 100, the length 100, and click OK. Now we have our database here. We need to connect to the database. You remember we have here db.php. We will make the connection now. We will make a variable, call it db equal to new MySQL I. So what I did now here, I created variable and I make instance of this object. This is MySQL object. This new keyword means give me instance of MySQL. Now I have here MySQL class. What I will do here, I can say db connect. Okay, this is function inside MySQL I class. Now this is MySQL class. Okay, I can call any function inside MySQL I. This function takes 4 parameters. The first is localhost, because we're developing in our computer. The second is the username is root. The third is the password. We don't have password. And the fourth is the database name, which is, I think, CRUD. Yes, you remember here we created our database CRUD. Okay, now we make the connection. To test this, we can say if db echo, let's say just success. So just to test if we connecting successfully, we go to index. We need to include this file, include db.php. So let's update. Successful. It's okay, we connected successfully. We will make if not connected. It doesn't really matter now because we are connected. Anyway, close this file, we don't need anymore. We have the connection here. Now what we want to do first, we want to be able to display the data in here, in this table. What we're gonna do now, in here in PHP tag, we're gonna say we're gonna create SQL variable, any variable, and we call it select star from task. So this statement will select everything on our database in here. Since we don't have anything, this will return nothing. So let's add insert, let's add dummy task, dummy values. task 1, task 2, and remember this is auto incremented. We don't need to add any data here. This will be automatic, and click go. Now we have this task 1, task 2 in our database. We want to display it in here. This should be ID, not number, so serial number. We just change it to ID. Anyway, now we want to display this data. So what you're gonna say, db. If you remember db, we have it here. Okay, we included the file also in here. So it means it's like we copied this code and pasted here. This would include does. Anyway, you can say db query. This is also function inside the db or the MySQL I class. What you're gonna say, you're gonna add the SQL variable in here. But first we wanna loop in this variable. We wanna create variable called maybe rows. So in this variable now we have sets of results. We wanna loop through this variable. Okay, we go down here into the table, our table. We will make here in here I mean, in the body, body table, body, the loop will be here. Okay, let's make PHP while. We will create row variable equal to this variable. We created rows fetch associate. Okay, to test this now, we close the end while loop. We end the while loop here just to see is this return anything or not. PHP, let's var dump the data or the row. Let's see now what's going on here. As you can see, we have data. Now we want to display in here. You remember this will return associative array, so we can loop through it. We're gonna end the loop in here, and we want to display the ID here. Echo row of ID. Copy this code again and display the data in here. This will be name. If you remember, we have name here and ID here. So we want to display this information now, the ID and the name. Let's save and refresh the page. Indeed, we have the data here. The ID, as you can see, 1 and 2, and the ID here 1 and 2. Okay, now when you click edit or delete, how we gonna know which one is this? Of course, we're gonna use the ID, right? Because this ID will be unique every time, so we can target by the ID. We can delete and edit also. Anyway, now we wanna add tasks here. This should be add, not send. So let's change that one to add text. Where is the module? Instead of send, we'll say add task. So now our form, this is our form. To send the form, we need a method of post. We're gonna post the data in the database. An action will be add.php. Why add PHP? Why add.php? Because whenever someone clicks add task, this form will take all the data and will display it here, or will post it in this page. That's why we need to add it here. We can also post it in the same page if you remove this action, or we can say also index.php. Anyway, let's go to add.php and just echo out okay to see if everything is okay. Let's refresh the page and go to here and click add. Okay, as you can see, and here we have add.php, so everything is okay. Now we need a way to add the task. So what you're gonna say here, we have the task name, we have this input name of task, we wanna target this one, but before we're gonna make condition that if the user clicks send here, send, then we're gonna add this task, or we're gonna take the values in this input type. We're gonna go here and to the add page, remove this, we don't need it. So we're gonna say if is set post send, okay. If it's set, what you're gonna say, if it's set, we will create a value called name, this name also. Okay, this is as I said, you're gonna get this data from this form. This is the data that you're gonna get from this super global variable called name, and we will store the data in name. Okay, now we can display name, you can say name. So now whatever data you put it here, this will be displayed in the next page. Let's say hi, welcome, click OK, and define name. Oh, not name, task. This should be task, sorry. So now if you refresh the page, if you click add and say hi, welcome, click add, you see hi, welcome, because we already received the data from the super global variable post. So what we need to do now, we need to include this db. We will include the db here, and we need to create SQL again, or variable insert into tasks values. So what you're gonna insert in where, name. Notice here between single quotes with name, and the value should be between quotes. Name is this name that we get it from this global variable. This should be inserted inside the database, insert into task. So this will not only now we need db query, and we're gonna give it SQL, the variable that we created. Let's add also another variable, call it value or anything, because we want to test this now. If val echo, let's echo between h1 tag, h1 successfully inserted. So what this mean is, it's mean if this value is true, you can say also equal to true, but this is the short way to do it. This mean is if there is a value here, display successful. So let's test now. Refresh the page. Say this is first task, add successfully. And how we make sure it's successful? Go to the MySQL. As you can see, we inserted the data successfully. Now also the data is here, already inserted. So now what we don't wanna display this message. If it's successful, we're gonna make a header location index.php. So if the data is okay inserted, go back to index page. This header means this will take you any page. If you add like update or anything, this will take you there. It's like href tag. Let's test again. Add task, hi there, click add. As you can see, we added. So we now successfully created the database and connected, and also created this form. So next part we want to be able to edit. When we click edit, we want to go to next another page, and we will be able to edit whatever we inserted. So see you in the next lesson.